Q4 Boulder HubSpot user group event. I'm Dustin Brackett. I am the Boulder Hug leader. I'm also the CEO and founder of HIVE Strategy and HIVE Hub. HIVE Strategy is a Diamond HubSpot solutions partner. We've been in the HubSpot ecosystem for about 10 years now. And HIVE Hub is a fractional HubSpot admin service supporting users of HubSpot and agencies to get the most out of their HubSpot investment. Today, we're going to be doing an intro to AI in HubSpot. AI is a huge topic right now, especially in the HubSpot ecosystem. I think there had to have been a quota at all of the sessions at Inbound that you had to say AI at least 5 times. So lots of cool, innovative things happening with artificial intelligence in HubSpot. And today, we're going to learn from one of the masters here. So Dan Rosenbaum is a 5-year HubSpot veteran. He's got roots in onboarding as well as strategic HubSpot partner development. He's kind of taken the mantle of global AI subject matter expert for the partner development organization. And he's also the co-founder of Synaptic Labs, an AI education and implementation agency whose mission is to democratize access to emerging AI technology while keeping ethical and responsible use at the forefront of what they do. So again, if you have questions, and Dan is going to be looking for some participation, so please use that chat window. And Dan, I'll turn it over to you.
Let's get the whole window in there. Can everyone see that okay? Perfect. Alrighty. So today we're going to be talking about unleashing the power of HubSpot's AI tools, but that's kind of a misleading title here because we're going to be talking about AI in general as it relates to HubSpot. Especially after, if anyone caught OpenAI's Dev Day just a few days ago, things are changing and they're changing fast. So now it's never been easier to jump on the train. So I think this is a good time for this conversation. And as Dustin said, if anyone has questions, you want to jump in, drop them in the chat. I'll try and go back and forth. I wish I had an AI version of myself that could take care of that, but maybe someday. Cool. So want to talk about something which is on my mind all the time, which is people's familiarity with these things. So we're going to be talking about ChatSpot. We're going to be talking about Content Assistant, Campaign Assistant, etc. So just throw in the chat 1 to 5. What is your familiarity with AI as it relates to HubSpot, whether that's HubSpot AI tools, or if it's using outside AI tools in conjunction with HubSpot. I love this. Yes, lots of 1s and 2s. You guys are my people. Got a couple of 3s and 4s. Anyone brave enough to throw a 5 in there? Okay, Michael Walsh, I'll be coming to you. Very good. I'm gonna rate myself a solid 4.5. I'm just gonna throw it right in there. And that might even be a little generous. Things are changing quick. So by the time you get to a certain familiarity, you're probably already out of date. Awesome. All right, cool. So what I wanted to talk about first is our agenda today. So we're going to go over some basics of ChatSpot, talk about some features and use cases. We're going to talk about the basics of Content Assistant and Campaign Assistant, talk about those. And then we'll go over some general generative AI use cases as it relates to HubSpot. And we'll talk about what it means for HubSpot partners and get some resources to everybody. If you're not a HubSpot partner, totally cool. This is also going to be great for if you're personally trying to just leverage AI for your own HubSpot instance. If you are a HubSpot partner, or this is affecting your business in some way, you're also in the right place. All right, so where are we skipping? There we go. What is ChatSpot? Talk about the basics here. So ChatSpot is an AI tool that uses essentially a ChatGPT pass-through. So we're using OpenAI's framework to act as a HubSpot co-pilot of sorts. It's locked into your HubSpot database. You can ask it questions about your HubSpot database. It can run some basic reports. It can create records. You can get insights. And it's also hooked into other third-party tools for third-party data on companies. You can look up news, all sorts of fun things. So it's not just an AI tool that talks to HubSpot. It's an AI tool that talks to HubSpot that also talks to various pieces of the wider web and some other tools. It works by making a request to the ChatGPT framework, pulls it back into ChatSpot for you, and helps with writing content, with answering questions about records in your CRM, and it just generally integrates with HubSpot, as I said. And as far as who's it for, I'd say just about everybody. We're going to focus on administrative folks, sales folks, and marketers for today, just because those are some of the more obvious use cases here, and specifically as it relates to ChatSpot. AI in general, I think anyone can benefit from. ChatSpot specifically, we'll talk about those three verticals. And Eric, good question about having data security concerns. So, I mean, you got to take a look at the data privacy policies. It's kind of everyone's own responsibility to make sure that the tools that they're using are up to your security standards. So keep that in mind. ChatSpot specifically uses the ChatGPT APIs. OpenAI claims that any API usage is not going to be used for their training data, but we have to kind of take them at their word for that. And as far as copyright issues, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But as it stands right now legally, as far as I know, and I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, anything that you make generatively that is just purely AI driven is not your property or anyone else's. That means you can't be sued for publishing it. You also can't sue anybody if they steal it. So keep that in mind. It's not yours or anybody's. All right, so let's take it back to just ChatSpot for a moment. So some of the random things that ChatSpot can do, and there's a lot more than just this, but it can help you create text for your emails, for marketing materials, blogs. You can ask it for information pulled from your CRM, like, give me a list of my most engaged contacts, something like that. Once this gets more powerful, by the way, the reporting features, one of the most exciting things for me personally, because I don't know about you guys, I hate building reports. I just my brain doesn't do that. I can't figure reporting out to save my life. So if I can just ask a tool with natural language, say, hey, I need a report that kind of gets at these three factors and how they relate to each other, and I can just read my data and spit it out at me. I mean, what more can you ask for? We can add generated images, of course, create records, look up funding data, keyword research, all sorts of fun things inside of ChatSpot. So let's take a quick look. I have ChatSpot open here. Just got to log in. Don't mind my SSO. And you'll notice too, if you've been using ChatSpot for a little while, the interface just changed recently. So there's a little bit more real estate here, and the templates are up in the top. One of the ways that ChatSpot works is it tries to figure out what you're asking, and then it's got all these different buckets that it tries to format its response in. So if you ask it a question and it doesn't know what bucket to drop that in, it might come back with I don't really know what you were trying to get at. So my suggestion, as far as this is still in beta and it's all, has a lot of work to be done on it, I would just always use templates whenever you can. There's lots of good templates. Every one of these has been tested and they should all work. So chat right here, there's some preliminary things that you can drop in, popular templates, and then more specific ones. And you can search anything. So if I just type in the bottom, like contact, gives me all the contact reports, or sorry, not reports, templates that you can use. So you can see I can summarize some key details of a contact record inside my HubSpot. I can add notes to a contact. I can create a contact, get some simple reports about counts of objects, stuff like that. So my number one recommendation for folks when they're getting started in here, just pop into every one of these sidebars and just get familiar with kind of what this tool can do. One of the coolest things, I think, is that this is trained on our knowledge base, the HubSpot knowledge base, which if you're familiar with HubSpot, that's probably like 100 million terabytes of data right there. And it's trained on our entire academy, over 600 hours of HubSpot pro advice on strategy, implementation. I mean, you name it. So we can ask all sorts of questions. I'm going to ask the academy, what are some best practices on building an inbound marketing campaign? Now, I'm going to caveat this because this is not my first rodeo showing AI live. This could have a critical failure. You never know. So I'm putting my neck on the line here. We'll see what happens. And if you want to do your own typing, you can just type in, ask academy : and then whatever question you have. So to build an inbound marketing campaign, define your goals, your customer, your content strategy, then get SLAs and marketing meetings. Love that. Finally, scale your campaign to achieve short-term, long-term goals. Pretty basic, but the real strong part about this is you can learn more by going to direct links inside of the HubSpot Academy. So it's kind of a little, hey, here's a little snippet of what I think you're getting at. And then if you want to get deeper, here's a suggested Academy course for you, which is great. Because sometimes it's one of those things where you look at the Academy and you're like, I don't even know where to start. So ChatSpot can act as your guide there. And Laura Lee asks, is ChatSpot a feature in your HubSpot CRM? Do you have to pay for it? It's totally free. There's not even an asterisk on that. It's completely free. In fact, there's a negative asterisk because you don't even need to be a HubSpot customer to use. You heard that right. You don't need to even use HubSpot to use ChatSpot for free. It has all sorts of features that are non-HubSpot related, such as research and other internet search things. So for example, let's see. Let's research popular companies. So let's research popular CRM companies. So this is not something that is pulling from your HubSpot. It's pulling from the web essentially. And look how modest it is. It didn't even list HubSpot in the first page here. And we can ask it for more results too. I might want to type out, customer relationship management companies. HubSpot's also not much of a CRM company these days. We're a little bit more than that. But either way, all of these things are free and available. If you want to research any of these guys, there's fun little buttons on the side here. So I can just dig into specific companies. And we're going to come back to this because this is incredibly valuable information. Everything from their employee size to if it's available, their annual revenue, where they're located, their tech stack. We're going to come back to that one. So lots of good, juicy information in here. All right. So that's ChatSpot in a bit of a nutshell there. And just to talk about some of the capabilities as it relates to different roles, we have administrators who want help maybe navigating HubSpot, creating reports, searching the knowledge base or academy. Sales Sally over here wants help writing killer emails to prospects, doing corporate research, finding leads. And Marketing Michael wants help creating content, researching topics, creating taglines, that kind of stuff. So ChatSpot can kind of do all of that and more. You can ask ChatSpot to say, hey, I'm trying to edit a property on a contact. Where do I do that? and it'll give you a link on and instructions on where in your portal to do that. As Dustin said, I've been at HubSpot for 5 years now, and I still get lost in our settings. So don't feel bad about anything. Now you've got a robot who can just tell you exactly where to go, which is great. And then creating reports, again, not super powerful yet, to be frank and transparent, but what it can do is really cool so far, and what it will be able to do is pretty mind-numbingly astounding. So keep your eyes peeled for more there. And then, as we saw firsthand, we can search the knowledge base in Academy for any sort of advice or tips. Sales Sally, you can give context to ChatSpot for a company or a prospect that you're trying to reach out to, and it'll write a prospecting email for you that you can then edit down on your own. As we just saw, we can look up company information, including PPC keywords that companies are buying. So you can look up your competitors, see what kind of ad space they're buying into. Get some really good intel that way. See what your competitors are trying to rank for. And then, of course, getting help with finding leads. We're going to come back to this. So finding companies that you want to reach out to, companies who you want to be pulling customers from. Really good use case there. And good question, Kelly, where ChatSpot is pulling that competitive data from. I'm forgetting the name of the company, and this is so embarrassing. Hold on, let me see if I can Google it quick. Clearbit, that's what it was. So public information now, HubSpot just acquired Clearbit last week, and Clearbit is data warehouse, all sorts of fun enrichment data in their tool. So we had a partnership with Clearbit through ChatSpot to enrich data, and now we acquired Clearbit. So we're planning on punching that forward even more. And even crazier that this tool is free, because we give you access to Clearbit, ChatGPT, a whole host of things, image generation tools that everyone else is charging an arm and a leg for. Then, of course, Marketing Michael. Marketing Michael wants to create content. So whether that's imagery, draft blog posts about things, you can even have ChatSpot shorten or lengthen or change the tone of different content. Marketing Michael wants to research keywords. So kind of similar to the PPC keywords, but organic search keywords, you can do research there. I forget what tool it uses for that, but it's like a SEMrush or something along those lines. And then creating taglines too, if you want to ask ChatSpot, come up with a insert adjective tagline for this new product which does this thing. That's what you can do. So a lot of people, and this is an important caveat here, a lot of people see ChatSpot and they're like, okay, I'm kind of getting it. It's like a ChatGPT, but it also has access to Clearbit information and maybe some SEMrush information. So it's a little bit more capable. Why don't I just use this for everything? Well, not the problem with ChatSpot, but let's talk limitations here. So ChatSpot does not remember anything that you talk about. So what was the first thing I asked you? And there we go. As far as it's concerned, the first thing that I asked it was, what was the first thing I asked you? Because it doesn't remember anything other than the interaction that you're having right now. So you can't iterate, you can't go back and forth. ChatGPT is really good at, if it's not giving you the output that you want, you can work with it. You don't have to get it perfect right off the bat. You can work with it. Whereas ChatSpot, write a prospecting email to a lead manufacturing industry. Going to give me something super basic because I didn't give it much to go off of. But we'll see what it comes up with. And another reason to use the templates, they kind of work like ad libs. So you can just put in, it's got a framework for the prompt, and then you just put in whatever you want. But like this is maybe goodish, but if I say shorten it by 20%, it's going to give me some random tidbit here. It has no idea what to do with that. What I could do is I could take all of this text, copy it, paste it into the message box, and then say shorten, the following text, or change the tone of the following text. But this will change in the future. Right now, still in beta, it only remembers the last thing you talked about. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so that is ChatSpot. Any other questions, drop them in the Q&A there about ChatSpot capabilities. There's a lot more that we didn't talk about. So again, my number one suggestion is check out the templates. Just look through these, see what you can do, and give some stuff a shot. I'm going to make an image quick while people are thinking up questions. Dan Rosenbaum, a channel consultant at HubSpot, is giving a virtual presentation on AI. Let's see what this does. Images take a little bit longer. Good question, Rhonda. So the prompts are the templates. So if I feel like it might not generate this if I leave, but when I went up to the top and I looked up that Academy template, all the template does is it fills in this first portion and then it gives whatever I wrote afterwards. So same thing with any of the other templates, like this one, research company, that's the template. And then I, put in Baidu. Cool. I love making images. So these are always fun. This one's good. Let's imagine that I have 30 screens in front of me right now. And let's also imagine I don't have that bald spot. How about that? Don't know why it thought it seems to think I'm balding, which I don't know. You guys tell me. But cool. All right. So we're going to move on from ChatSpot. We'll come back to it and talk about Content Assistant instead. So Content Assistant is your true in-app HubSpot AI assistant, and it's kind of pervasive throughout a bunch of the tools. So Content Assistant works with HubSpot's existing tools. It's integrated into them directly, whereas ChatSpot is a separate applet, separate punch-out. And Content Assistant allows you to use AI to generate content from scratch, adjust existing content, anything like that, so that you don't have to be in one platform, create some stuff, copy it, paste it into HubSpot, mess around with it, throw it back, go back and back. It's nice to just all be in one under one roof, essentially. And you can also, it's technically powering the Gmail integration as well. There's if you've got eagle eyes, you probably noticed there's a write this email for me button on your Gmail extension now, which is pretty sweet. And some features, again, not exhaustive here. As far as I know, Stacy, the question is the Content Assistant in Outlook? As far as I know, no. The Outlook integration is always lagging behind because Microsoft is pretty stingy with their agreements in general. So not as far as I'm aware. But if anyone else knows differently, let me know. And yes, Laura Lee, I will share the slides after this presentation. There's lots of good links in here. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, so Content Assistant. You can craft emails, write social copy, write prospecting emails, write blogs, make CTAs, rewrite, revise, do it all, which is pretty sweet. It's got its hands in a lot of cookie jars, as I say up here. So let's take a quick peek at it. I think I have right here. Okay. So let's go over to an email. This is just a HubSpot development portal that I have open here. Let's pop this open. Okay. And so what you'll notice is kind of wherever, get out of here, content, there's probably the opportunity to use Assistant. So again, you got to kind of be eagle-eyed viewer to catch this. Let me make the text a little bit bigger. Okay. So there's no like content assistant button necessarily sitting anywhere. But once you highlight some text, you will notice a little Shazam symbol, or it might be copyrighted. Lightning bolt here, not related to superheroes in any way. And so once you highlight some text, you can click on that little lightning bolt and you get options here. You can rewrite, expand, shorten, or change the tone to any one of these things. So if I want to take this and shorten it, we'll start thinking and it'll generate something for me. So I made it a little shorter, but maybe I want to try it again. So you can just keep on generating over and over again. It'll give me slightly different things every time, and it'll save the previous responses too, so that you can kind of compare a couple of different ones. And when you're ready, you just hit insert, and it pops it right in for you. And to go to the questions really quick, Alvaro, can it create content based on our website and tone of voice? Really good question here. So Content Assistant, no, because it's just taking text essentially, and you can change it to one of these tones or rewrite it, expand it, whatever. But if you have a third-party tool, or if you're using ChatGPT directly, there are ways to train it on your, like you can feed it a couple of blog posts, ChatGPT. You can give it a couple of blog posts, give it access to your website and say, look at all this stuff, eat it all up, and then give me a rundown of my website's and brand's tone of voice. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you a description of your tone and style. And then you can use that tone and style elsewhere and say, write me a blog post using the following tone and style. And you paste that block of tone and style in there. So that's one way to do it. There's other ways to do it that are a little bit more complicated, but I think that's an easy way. Other languages, really good question about other languages. Right now, as far as I'm aware, it only works for English. That could be different if I've never tried it actually by changing the portal's default language. But if anyone else has experience with that, definitely let me know. And I can look into that as well. I should probably have a note going. Let's see. I'm going to make a follow-up. Other languages. Okay. And then if you don't have any existing content and you still want to generate something, what you can do is you can hit the backslash, / one of the slashes, the one on the bottom right next to your shift key. That is the way to activate Content Assistant kind of wherever you are. So if you don't want to highlight a block of text, you want to generate something brand new, you can do that. So we can generate a paragraph or a heading. I'm going to generate a paragraph, and you're just going to type in a basic prompt here. So this is where, Alvaro, you could, I don't know what doesn't give you a text limit. I don't know what the limit is off the top of my head for this, but if it's big enough, you could drop some content in there and say, make me a paragraph based on this. But I'll say, write an outro for an email about AI HubSpot with the goal of booking a sales call. with me. And we'll let that generate. So we're excited to share some exciting news, blah, blah, blah. AI-powered features as the future of marketing. Book a sales call with us today to learn how AI can take your marketing strategy next level. Beautiful. So I'll just insert that. It's very long though, so maybe I want to highlight it and shorten it up a bit. A lot shorter, a lot sweeter. Revolutionize your marketing efforts and drive your sales call today. So this is in a marketing email. You can do this in a sales email, in a social post. Always keep your eyes out for this little lightning bolt. Wherever there's an opportunity to input just straight up text content, hit the backslash and you can make some content that way. So Content Assistant, very powerful, very versatile, and is slowly getting into more and more as time goes on, where it makes sense for it to go. So always keep your eyes out for that little lightning bolt. Alrighty. Any other questions on Content Assistant before I move on? Okay. I see Walter said my screen is not sharing. Is that true? Can everyone see my screen still? Okay, cool. I was just panicked for a second. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. Okay, very good. So let's move on to Campaign Assistant. So far, I know we've talked about a lot already. I'm a very fast talker, but so far we've talked about ChatSpot and some use cases. We've talked about Content Assistant inside of HubSpot, some use cases. Now we're going to come back out of HubSpot and go to Campaign Assistant. So Campaign Assistant is similar to ChatSpot. It's a separate applet, at least right now. So I have direct links to it, but you can just Google Bot Campaign Assistant, and you can log in that way, and go from there. So when you're creating stuff in here, the whole point of Campaign Assistant is to build campaigns. So some of the features and an overview of it. It's a obviously AI tool, allows you to create landing page copy, marketing email copy, ad copy, all with a single set of instructions that can help make all of these different assets for you. So you provide some information about the campaign that you have coming up. You choose a tone of voice that resonates, and you select some assets, and it makes them for you. Good question, Laura Lee. I'm going to come back to that after I talk about Campaign Assistant. Laura Lee was asking about different scenarios when you would use ChatSpot versus Content Assistant. So we'll come back to that. So when I'm making a new campaign, let's do Dan's AI campaign. So just a couple of things that you need to do when you build this. It tells you straight up. You just got to answer a few questions, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to create a new asset. Let's start with a marketing email. So my campaign is about spreading awareness of AI tools for people who need them most, with a focus on equitable and ethical access. I want my audience to know about my mission to democratize AI. I also want them to know about my AI consultancy services. And let's see, a third thing, I want them to know about the limitations of AI in content generation. Sure. What I want my audience to do, type of call to action. book a sales call. Or actually, let's go a little different. Let's download a digital asset. And the writing style, we can be witty, creative, humorous, friendly, positive, helpful, professional, confident, informative. I'm looking to be informative on this one, but you can always, get crazy with it. All right, so this looks good to me so far. I'm going to go ahead and generate, and it's telling me that it's thinking. While it's thinking, oh, that was quicker than I thought. Cool. So the marketing email, empowering access to AI tools for all, the potential. So at insert company name, we believe that AI should be accessible to all, regardless of their background or resources. This is kind of what I was getting at, making it resource or financially agnostic to get access to these tools. That's what I was going for. Democratize AI, empower people, love it. As leaders in the industry, we offer comprehensive consulting. Wonderful. So this kind of came out more like a sales email, but I guess I kind of built it that way. So I can either download this, or I can go ahead and just drop this right into a HubSpot email. So this is one of the coolest parts about why it's awesome that HubSpot is making these tools, because I just kind of gave it some stuff, built out some things for me, and then it dropped to an email template for me that has the opportunity to add images. It's got the headers, the body text. It's pretty. Love this. There's a download button right there for that digital asset. It's up here as well. I mean, this is a lot of the work that I was going to have to do to get us into a marketing email is just automatically done for me. It gets dropped in there for me, which is so cool. And the next best part about this is, now that I've filled in all this information, I can go ahead and create the rest of my campaign. So maybe I'll create a landing page next. So you can see on the left-hand side, it remembered everything that I told about, or I told it about me and my goals here with the campaign. So I'm going to just generate a landing page with the same information. And right now, Desiree, it doesn't really, it's not trained on your previous landing pages that you've created or anything else like that. It's just using some general templates to get started. This gave me some similar information here. Let's see what it does with a landing page. Okay. Thank you for the help. Little box thing. Cool. And so, yeah, this is similar to what we just saw in the marketing email. It's almost identical, actually, with the images and the text and all that. This is a little bit more, learning about me and my mission kind of thing, though. My mission to democratize AI versus democratizing AI for everyone. But, overall, same kind of messaging here, which is great. And the fun thing, I can be like, you know what? I'm in a landing page. I actually don't really like that too much. Let's use Content Assistant to rewrite. So this is an example. I'm going to go all the way back, deep cut to Laura Lee's question about when to use ChatSpot versus Content Assistant. This is a much better use case for Content Assistant because, first of all, it's quick. And I can iterate on it much faster. And I'm in the tool, I'm building stuff. So it just makes sense to use something that's right in front of my face. Whereas ChatSpot is better because anything that it leverages third-party tool-wise or talking to HubSpot-wise, Content Assistant can't create a contact record. ChatSpot can. ChatSpot can't highlight a bunch of text and inside my app and give me some suggestions to change the tone on it. It's a little harder to do that with ChatSpot, whereas Content Assistant, super easy to do that. So the more familiar you get, Laura Lee, and you use these tools, that's just you're gonna figure it out. I promise you. All right, cool. And then if we wanted to, you can probably guess what's going to come next. But if I do a Google ad, the only difference here is that I need to add some keywords. So I'm going to add in AI, consultant, business. I want to rank for the word business. That's what I want to do. Okay. And just like that, it made me some Google ads. And I mean, I don't know, these look pretty good. I'm not to be clear, I'm not a Google Ads pro. But to me, this seems pretty normal for what you might see in a Google ad. And I actually haven't tried this yet to manage ads with HubSpot. Let's see if it pulls that in for us. It's going to make me connect stuff. Yeah, so I don't think the ads are there yet where you can just drop it right into HubSpot like you can with the landing pages and marketing emails. But we'll get there someday. And the assets here, landing pages, ads, marketing emails, doesn't have to stop there. There's so many other things that go into creating campaigns, CTAs and pop-ups and all that stuff. So this tool will continue to grow. Use it, abuse it. Let us know, give us feedback. Let us know how we can make it better. Okay. So that is Campaign Assistant. I forgot to show you my fun picture here. I made a bunch of, you guys will all have access to these when you get the presentation, but I made a bunch of HubSpot themed images using AI if you didn't realize. Okay. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. Those are 3 major AI tools that HubSpot has built and that tons and tons of people use every single day, and you should be using yourselves. But we're going to kind of go to the next level now. We're going to talk about more general AI use cases. Some of these are going to be directly related to HubSpot AI tools. Some of them are going to be a combo of some third-party stuff. So hold on to your pants. And if you're a HubSpot agency, really good tips and tricks here. If you're just a business using HubSpot, really good tips and tricks. If you're just like curious about how businesses can use AI, not even HubSpot AI, this will be good for you as well. Before we get started, just a couple of tips when you're thinking about implementing AI into your tech stack, into your business, into your strategies. First things first, start small and iterate. I cannot emphasize enough that with something as overwhelming as the AI space, and it is overwhelming. I am constantly overwhelmed by it myself. I guess by my own choice, but that's on me. But just start small. Just have a conversation with ChatGPT. It's free. Have a conversation with ChatSpot. It's free. And just start asking questions like, how can I use you? If it's one of the first tools that you can ask it how it can help you, which is pretty cool. And then as you get more and more comfortable, continue to iterate, continue to learn. It's the number one thing I can recommend is just get in there and play with it. It's an experiment with the base models first. It's really tempting when you see something pop up like, oh, there's a brand new AI tool in the market that does X, Y, or Z, and it's going to revolutionize the world in this way. Maybe, but all of those AI tools, or at least most of them, are built on top of things like ChatGPT, or they're built on top of Facebook's, or I guess Meta's Llama model, or Google's Bard, or anything else like that. And a lot of them are just kind of reskins of those tools with maybe some bells and whistles attached. So I always recommend the base models are here to stay. ChatGPT is not going anywhere. Bard's not going anywhere. The tools that are built on top of those, they could go somewhere. Google could release a feature tomorrow that shuts down tons of businesses. OpenAI just ungated a bunch of features 2 days ago that probably killed like thousands of startups. So you just never know. And then as a business, if you're using AI, especially in the marketing space, the content generation space, people are going to be asking you tough questions around, are you using AI? Why am I paying you so much if you're using AI? All that stuff. So I think the hourly wage work is going out the door, and the sooner that we can all change to value-based pricing models, the better off we'll all be. It's not about the volume. It's always about the quality of the content that you create. If the quality of the content is no worse, if it's better, people should probably be you should probably be charging people more, if not the same. There's a lot of people out there, and I'm just getting on my soapbox for 1 minute. There's a lot of people out there who are saying, well, if we can shave off a couple of hours here, we'll reduce our prices, or we'll give you more output because we're using AI. That's not really sustainable. It doesn't really make sense. Value-based pricing. Look it up. And embrace AI now. It's not too late to embrace it. The fact that you're all here is a good indicator that you're ready for a change in this space. So if you're feeling like you're late to the party, don't worry, you're not. We're just getting started here. And as you're going through, somebody asked this question earlier about security and privacy. Always prioritize security. The number one thing you can do in that realm is, first of all, don't give these tools any personal identifying information. Don't give them any health information, financial information, nothing like that. That is the number one way to prevent security issues. The next best way is look at companies' privacy and security policies. See what kinds of security they have. HubSpot publishes our own security documentation. You can find it online. If a point solution that you're using does not do that, be wary. If something is free, remember, you are the product. It's gathering information about you and probably selling it somewhere else. So just keep all these things in mind. Be a responsible user of technology in our era. We should all be familiar with this kind of stuff. But just be really sure that you're prioritizing security in those ways. And one of the ways that you can do that is by creating guidelines in your organization for ethical use, just like this one. So I'm actually going to share this with everybody. If anyone's familiar with Impulse Creative, they're a HubSpot agency as well. And they just have this really good GI manifesto. I really like it. They've got a purpose statement, an ethical statement, explicit and transparent notices to clients, data security, legal, all this good stuff. Just a singular place. And I think AI deserves its own manifesto like this, or privacy policy, or just policy in general. Definitely worth your time to put that together. And something that ChatGPT can actually help you write, and then you can get it over to your lawyers. The biggest takeaway here, everyone is going to be using AI in your organizations, whether you want them to or not. So my opinion is that why don't we get ahead of it and create guidelines and safeguards and get approved AI tools and stuff like that, and do some research in that area. Okay, I should have titled this slide Soapbox. Sorry about that. So let's get into the fun stuff. Some AI use cases. And for anyone who sees any of this and has questions, or comes up with an idea, or is thinking, hey, can I use AI for this thing? Throw it in the chat. I'd love to see it. Cool. Yeah, I'm just catching up on the chat here. I'm going to have to check out the Marketing AI Institute for their manifesto as well. Thank you, Dustin, for that. I'm going to write that down. Marketing AI Institute manifesto. Cool. All right, so use case number one, managing your ABM strategy inside of HubSpot. Can I get a quick run through in the chat? Give me a yes or a no if If you're familiar with ABM, one of the top buzzwords in digital marketing, standing for account-based marketing. Okay, got a couple of no's. Okay, good. I'm glad I asked. So for those who aren't aware, account-based marketing is the idea that we have lighthouse accounts that we're trying to go after. So if I am a can manufacturer, I want to get into business with Coca-Cola. They need a lot of cans. I've got a lot of cans. Let's get something going here. So Coca-Cola might be a lighthouse account for you, somebody that you're really gunning for. And for a lighthouse account like that, it requires a very targeted, very specific strategy to get in front of them. That means you're going to have to find out who the stakeholders are. You're going to have to find out where they spend their time, if it's on LinkedIn or elsewhere. You're going to have to come up with a strategy, implement that strategy, and you got to manage it somehow. So quick shameless plug. Getting ahead of myself here. Let's open up HubSpot. We call it target accounts. So in your contacts drop down the top left, we've got target accounts. And the idea behind target accounts in HubSpot is that you have a dashboard to manage all these things. So I've got my target account over here, gives me some quick data on how many deals I have open with them. The last time we talked 3 years ago, that's not so good. Maybe we should, check in on them. And the dashboard gives you a rundown on who are all of the contacts, what are their buying roles, when was the last time I talked to any one of those people, who are my internal stakeholders at Canco, how many deals do I have open with them, and what pages on my website are they checking out. So this is a great way to just manage those lighthouse accounts that you're trying to get after. But the question is wow, so many resources just to get after one company. How could I ever? Well, I'm glad you asked. We can use a combination of ChatSpot and a large language model of your choice, LLM. LLM could be ChatGPT, could be Meta's Llama, Google's Bard, Anthropic's Claude, if you've heard of that one. They're all okay choices. You can choose any one of them and just get started that way. So we're going to need ChatSpot and an LLM of your choice. So we're going to use ChatSpot first to acquire a company profile. Well, if you remember earlier, if I scroll up a smidge here, I've got a company profile right here for Baidu. Chinese language internet search provider. Sounds good to me. Maybe they need some cans or something. So what you can do is after you do research in ChatSpot, so we've done some research, I've identified some lighthouse accounts. Maybe I want to add them to HubSpot. So let me get Baidu over here. So I'm going to add Baidu to HubSpot, just right through ChatSpot. And it's going to throw in properties for me like street address, their description, like all those things that were in that rundown are now in this company profile inside of HubSpot. Okay, so they've been created for me. This looks great. Got everything I need. You can see some activities. Not that there's going to be anything because we just created them, but this is great. So I have some really key information like a description, their LinkedIn page, and some other random stuff. So what I can do from here is if I wanted to, we could drop them into that target accounts view. So I could add them as a target account here if I wanted to. And then I can continue to take that we gleaned from the breakdown here. I can take a look at their tech stack, their industries that they service, anything like that. I can put all of that into something like ChatGPT or Campaign Assistant, and I can say, hey, make me a campaign using all of this information. I'm trying to get after this one company. All of this information, I want prospecting emails. I want marketing materials. I want one-pagers, landing pages. I want blog posts that they're going to be interested in reading. I want it all. So through a combination of ChatSpot to gather the information, an LLM of your choice, like ChatGPT, in concert with something like Campaign Assistant, maybe, to ingest all that information that you've gathered. And then you can build really targeted and extremely valuable content for those Lighthouse accounts, which is great. And then you can just continue to use the language model and human power at your disposal to continue to iterate and create more and more compelling stuff. Stuff is good. Cool. All right. So our next use case is a little bit more on the technical side. So we've got Zapier plus AI plus HubSpot equals question mark because it can do anything. So I don't have a demo for this, but so I'm going to ask you to imagine with me. So Zapier or Make.com, anything that can do system-to-system automation. Again, an LLM of your choice, and then ideally a HubSpot Pro plan so you have access to workflows and stuff like that. The idea here is that we can use Zapier as a middleware between an AI tool like ChatGPT and HubSpot as a CRM to kind of marry the capabilities. So for example, just like we were talking about, you create a company profile. Maybe you take all that information from ChatSpot, you throw it into ChatGPT, you say, hey, make me a company profile based on the industry here. Pull out pain points they might have and find me some ways that find me some ways that HubSpot might solve for them if I'm a HubSpot rep trying to get some business. So what that's going to do is it's going to pull in all the pain points, some materials and stuff like that. And based on the setup that you have, you can connect it so that as ChatGPT is making these profiles, it will create sales emails to add to sequences that we can, if you're feeling brave enough, can automatically go out to those contacts and companies that you want them to go out to. I always recommend having a human in the loop, but to each their own. But the idea here is that we can we can input things into ChatGPT or something else, and then we can have it chew on the information, spit out really great content for us, and get that automatically added to HubSpot, much like the Campaign Assistant does, where it generates something for you, and then a tool like Zapier actually gets that data and stuff into your HubSpot. And then the last use case here, automated customer support. This one's a no-brainer. So HubSpot is releasing a chat bot tool, something that can sit on the bottom right-hand side of your website, a live chat robot that people can interact with for sales conversations or customer support. Or there's plenty of chatbot point solutions. If you want to learn about any of those, hit me up. There's plenty of good ones. And then you want HubSpot with like a service hub or sales hub and maybe an established knowledge base. So the fun thing about this is that we can take customer service, at least the low-hanging fruit, out of the hands of humans. They don't need to be answering basic questions that a Google search can solve for. Let the robot do the Google search. So we can build bots that that have really good prompting in the background, so that it knows your brand voice and it is kind and helpful and all that stuff, and is lower chance of hallucinating. You always have to think about how these tools could be misused potentially. So hire a prompt engineer if you're not feeling comfortable with that yourself. And then you can have it eat up all of your knowledge base articles, all of your FAQs, all of your blogs, your YouTube videos, your PDFs, your one-pagers, your digital content, everything. It can know everything about you and your business. And then you just drop it on your website. People can talk to it. They can learn about your services. They can learn about all your FAQs. It can point them in different directions to different resources. And then only when there's a question that is more on the high-end technical side will it pull a human into the loop. And Kelly, I wish I knew if there was a launch date for the AI chatbot beta. I haven't been told anything, but sometime in the future. That's what I've been told pretty much. For anyone who's curious, you can sign up for a wait list for that. I am on the wait list. Let me add that to the general chat. So yeah, feel free to sign up for the wait list there. Okay. Dustin, I know I'm right at time, but I know we have some extra time. Do I have 5 more minutes to finish up the slides here? I will take your silence as yes. There we go. Excellent. Yeah, so we're going to finish up quick here. Just some things that this means for you as either a HubSpot partner, HubSpot customer, HubSpot anything, or just a human of the world. Our fearless leader, Yamini, is quoted here saying, AI will be HubSpot's #1 strategic objective. And she was talking about in the year 2024. It's already one of our top objectives in 2023. So keep your eyes peeled for more news coming out. And some key things to remember about AI and how it's going to affect our lives. Content marketing is never going to be the same as it was before. So we have to change our strategies around it, the ways that we talk about this. Marketing jobs, content generation jobs, data analytic jobs. There's a lot of fear right now that jobs will be replaced. Entire departments, you hear horror stories of entire departments getting axed in favor of AI tools, very haphazardly and not well thought out at all. So I encourage everyone here, if you're a leader, if you're an employee, if you're a citizen of the world, use AI to enhance your lives and your roles, never to replace. Never prompt and publish. Always have a human in the loop whenever it makes sense to. And then as far as businesses are concerned, we believe that adaptability and transparency are going to be key to winning in this space moving forward, especially as these AI tools get more advanced. It's not all sunshine and daisies here. There are serious implications for deepfake technology, for things in your actual auditory voice to be said that you didn't actually say. As a business, this has big implications for content that gets published in the looks like your content. So the more transparent that we are around our personal use of AI as a company, we say this is what we're using it for. This is what we're not using it for. This gives you upfront guardrails to save face if somebody's trying to defame you or whatever. You can say, listen, this is how we use AI. This thing over here is not how we use AI. It wasn't us, etc. And everyone, it's kind of like this dirty little secret. Like everyone knows that everyone's using AI, so you might as well be transparent about it, which can be scary, but I think is the way forward. And so we have to create new narratives around why AI enhanced agencies or lifestyles are the way to go, while still offering a human touch and human-led service to folks. So the other story there is, hey, we are a strict no AI agency or company. We only do human stuff, et cetera, all well and good. That being said, your competition is going to smoke you if you do that. So again, this is soapbox slide number 2. So lock in. Make sure that you're at least starting the process of thinking about how you can use these tools ethically and responsibly, while still having a human touch and just taking the admin stuff out of your day. And implement AI now. The tools are still new, even if it seems like it's been forever since these things have been out and you're so far behind. Not even been a year yet since like ChatGPT really dropped. It's been about a year since it first started getting some popularity. But as far as I'm concerned, like February was when it really kicked off. So still plenty of time to catch up, still plenty of time to leverage these things, implement it now before it gets, totally out of your hands. And remember, delighting customers is always a good idea. So whatever that means, we can re-engage existing customers in novel ways. We can get quicker wins. We can be more efficient. You all are the experts in your industries. You are the experts in your fields. This is what people pay for. They're not paying for a first draft of a blog post. They're paying for the finished draft, the optimized draft, the perfect draft that is led by human expertise. That's what you're providing. With AI, you're not providing anything different. You're still providing that final polished draft. You're just maybe getting there a little bit quicker. And of course, we've got new retainer options popping up all over the place. If you're so bold, you can offer lighter touch, AI enhanced retainerships to folks. I don't know what this space is going to look like in the future, but I'm really excited to see where people take it. Okay, so that is all I have for content. I've got some resources here that I'm gonna share the slide deck, of course. I've got the waitlist sign up, the generative AI manifesto, AI resources for partners specifically. I've got it all. So I want to open things up. I don't know why I skipped this slide. It's Creek fans in here, hat tip. But I want to open it up for questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, all that good stuff. So I guess I'll start with the Q&A stuff, if that's okay, Dustin.
Perfect. Yeah, there's one question in there from Walter about the new Sales Hub and using AI in those tools.
Yep. Yeah, really good question, Walter. So the Sales Hub relaunch was kind of hand in hand at inbound time with all of the AI tools getting launched at the same time. So let me pop this open. When we're thinking about Sales Hub, you can see a lot of new stuff in here. And the way that I think about AI and Sales Hub marrying each other is kind of like there are things that exist that maybe aren't Sales Hub specific, but definitely help. So first things first, I think it's under conversations now. The call listening, I forget exactly what it's called. I'm blanking on it, but anyways, HubSpot already has the ability for calls that your reps are having to be recorded, and for AI to like analyze it and to give takeaways and stuff like that. So first things first, doing like call listening got a whole lot easier for managers because HubSpot has tools for it. I can't believe I am forgetting the name of it, but that exists. There's also things that have existed for a while, like predictive lead scoring. So that's, maybe you haven't thought about it in that way, but that's kind of an AI feature that's available in, I think, Sales Hub Enterprise. And that's been around for a while. And then there's newer stuff. Like if I'm building out an email template for somebody, I can, like a prospecting email, I can take all this stuff and say just like anywhere else. I think, maybe it can't. All right, so I don't think Content Assistant has reached templates yet, at least not in-app. But what you can do is build out sales templates and prospecting emails in ChatSpot or outside of HubSpot and bring them in just to make your days easier. And then there's also the new prospecting hub. I think there's some like predictive forecasting stuff coming in the horizon. So when I think of Sales Hub AI tools, it's a mix between how can we AI-ify our forecasting and our lead scoring and stuff like that, and then also enable sales reps to build out better and better prospecting emails and things like that quicker and quicker as well.
There was also another question from Sarah of, will the AI chatbot come with multiple chat flows? For example, one bot for the website and a separate bot for our customer portal.
I can only imagine that it will, but don't quote me on that. They don't tell me anything. I find out when everyone else finds out about the stuff. And then I furiously play with it and try to learn everything I can. So I imagine that it's going to work a lot like the current chat flows do, where you're going to have multiple versions of it. And ideally, you'd be able to train it on different things. So every chatbot could have a different personality. One could be trained on your knowledge base. Another could be trained on your product and services page. Because you're going to want like a sales chatbot on your pricing page and a customer support chatbot on your FAQs and your knowledge bases. So we'll see. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm hoping they will do.
And I think that was all the questions. I think you did a great job kind of answering those as they were coming in. So not a ton here left at the end. But thanks so much, Dan. I think this was super insightful. Lots of cool, innovative stuff. And I'm sure this is just the tip of the iceberg of what's coming in 24 and beyond. So appreciate the time.
I was literally this morning updating things on the slide deck because things are moving so fast. So yeah, things are going to continue to move at warp speed here. Again, my best advice is just get in there and start playing with this stuff safely.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for joining. We will be following up with an email with the slide deck, with the recording, any of those assets that Dan had kind of referenced. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll also include contact information in there. But thank you, Dan. Again, this was great. And thanks everyone for attending.
Thanks all.